Hey, Butterfly, welcome to another recap of The Shy. This is for episode 4 in season 4. This one made me cry. I'm just going to start there. Had to bring in something stronger than water. You know what this is? Ginger ale. I had to bring in the ginger, the doctor, to soothe my nerves. And I know y'all gonna be like, Ty, but isn't our tagline, we like our mess on the screen and not in our real lives? So how you gonna keep feeling the way every time it's mess? Do you want the recap or not? Because I'm gonna complain about what I asked for. I'm an American. That's my right. I got my notes today on my old laptop slash tablet. I'm filming this on my phone today. I'm gonna try something different. All right. First things first. The episode began with one of my favorite artists, Lucky Day, his song Karma. Side note, before quarantine in 2020, Lucky Day was the last concert that I got to go to in person. Tickets was like $20 and the show was amazing. I love live music. I cannot wait until that part of life resumes. All right, back on task here. Tiffany is enjoying this open merch situation. And when they did the recap, and Emmit was like, oh, you want me to be effing other bees? And then she was like, yeah, and I'm going to be doing other men. He was like, hold on, you going to be? He thought that an open marriage only meant that Tiffany was going to be giving him permission to sleep with other women. How selfish. Like, he never thinks about anyone else. I really got a bone to pick with Emmit this season. Like, his antics. But our girl Tiffany is having a real affair. Okay? She ain't just getting her cookies dipped in the milk. She is having an affair. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for it. Next topic. Rosalyn, Candy. They still haven't provided any details about who this woman is and why she's, the starring role in Duda's life as far as his wife. She did reveal that, everything is about a transaction. Because when Tracy came down them steps, try to put a church finger up and get up out of there, she was like, what do you want? Like, you just out here giving up the Punkash. Remember when Jim Jones' mom made a fragrance and she called it Punkash because she said it was going to smell like your lady parts? And then she filmed a video, and in the video, everybody was like, Punkash. I'm bringing that back. Shout out to you, Mama Jones. Anyway, Rosalyn was like, you out here giving up the Punkash for free. What do you want out of this? Like, you got to come to the table asking for something, or you just gonna leave with some wet panties. Hello? And I said, you know what, Rosalyn? You're right. Because even when Rosalyn and Otis, even though I prefer calling him Duda, but I feel like in certain roles he is playing Otis and then Duda. Even when they were having their little conversation, he let her know, like, I strategically chose you. Yeah, you look good, but if you're a community leader and you're singing my praises, obviously that's going to look better than just my wife who's married to me. So he's letting her know, like, yeah, I'm dunking your cookies in the milk, but I'm getting something out of this. And she all doe-eyed and starry-eyed. And then it made me think, what if she is the one that ends up killing Duda because she falls in love with him? And he just like, I'm Duda. I don't fall in love. You know what I mean? What if he's just like an old Jay-Z lyric? I don't love him out. You know the one I'm talking about. I feel like we gotta keep our eye on that because I feel like there is a woman who shoots Duda on the roof just based on the glimpses. So we're gonna see how that's gonna go. Nina, Kevin and Keisha's mom, she has PTSD. about what happened to her children. And you know what is crazy? All these episodes, we have focused on what is happening to the character and not really paid attention to how what happens to them is impacting their home life, and not taking it a step further to even look at Nina is their mother. She laid their father to rest. Her son almost got killed messing around with Ronnie and them in the streets. Now he drinking and drugging. And then Keisha done got kidnapped and raped, and now she's bringing this baby into the world. And from a mother's standpoint, to not be able to protect your children from that level of trauma, and then no one even paying attention to the fact that, wow, Nina's really going through it. And I feel bad for myself. Like, I didn't even recognize how much she personally is going through as a result of everything that's happening. So we got to give her a little bit more compassion. So when they was in that little therapy session, I was like, it really hit me like, wow, we never really considered what her mom was going through. For real. Like when Keisha and them was missing, we focused on that. But after the fact, it was like, the focus was off of her, and she still has her own traumas. She really does. Let me ask y'all something. Black parents. Why is the go-to when you talking about how you checking up on your kids? Because I don't know if I'm going to get a call and you somewhere dead up in the ditch. When did dying in the ditch become the thing universally for us? How come it ain't never died nowhere else? Like, I know my mother, aunties, grandmas, all of them used to use the same term. Because you could be dead in a ditch. It don't even be ditches like that no more. But we're still using it. I just would like to identify where the source of that came from. I bet you it probably came from slavery, where most things have originated. But I just thought that was interesting, like when she said that, because that is just such a Black community thing. Because you can be dead in a ditch. Okay. Next topic. Kevin in the middle of Gemma and Jake trying to launch a movement. Kevin said, this is the energy that Kevin got. I got me a good job down here. I ain't trying to rock no boats. I ain't trying to make nobody upset. I just want to keep my head down and just, don't make no waves. And that is the majority of people during any type of movement. We like to look back and romanticize the civil rights movement as if everybody was on the same page and they were more committed to change than we are in this generation. And the truth of the matter is, there are a lot more Kevins than Malcolms, Angelas, Martins. There are way more Kevins that will not want to rock the boat and don't want to step out, in any type of way. And people, the crazy thing is, once history is told, those people get swept up in being on the right side of history, because we never look at the people who weren't for the movement, and we just group everyone in based on the end result. Oh, everyone was collectively involved. No, there was not. And I know with the last civil rights movement that kicked off because of George Floyd's killing, we still got remnants of it now, because that was definitely a civil rights movement. Pay attention, y'all. There were a lot more people who were not willing to come into the streets, who were not willing to be inconvenienced, who were not willing to give up anything. That's the true tip. It was a whole lot of Kevins. I know I had some in family friend groups. It was a whole lot of Kevins. Okay? I just want that to be said, because people love to romanticize the past as if there was more Black unity then than it is now based on the end result. And the reality is, no, it wasn't. Just those people who were in leadership positions, they were dedicated to push forward no matter who wasn't with it. which is going to be the same thing that is required now. You keep moving forward. You don't look for 100% participation. You link up with those who willing and you move the needle. That's just what it is. Kevin said, I got me a good job. I got benefits. I ain't trying to make nobody upset. Next topic. As predicted, Emmit is not with the two-way cheating. He wanted to cry in the car when she was giving him the terms. He do not like this. When he was getting his little lollipop licked, he wasn't into it because his mind somewhere thinking about what Tiffany doing. And ain't that something? Because you wasn't worried about what she was doing when you was out here messing with all them other women. Ooh, they can dish it, they can't take it. Imani is going to get Trig into some real trouble. She done got this girl killed because she don't have no tact in how to go about the situation. And we know it's an urgent situation. That young woman's life was hanging on the balance. But you can't just barge in and try to snatch things apart without having a real plan. And that's what she did. And got that girl killed. Dead in the ditch. Full circle. I ain't laughing that the girl is dead, but just when Trig came to the end of the thing, he was like, yeah, they found a body over there in a ditch, basically. So I guess we can keep that saying then. If we're gonna keep, all right, we'll keep it for now. We'll table it and come back to it another time. But for the time being, let's keep scaring our kids where you can end up dead in the ditch. Tabitha, Octavia, Danita, Shirley Chisholm, Luther Kang. I wanted you to be crazy. But goddamn it, you done won me over with the compassion. Standing up in there advocating for Keisha because the doctor is trying to rush a result and not paying attention to what's going on. Darn you, Tab. I wanted you to give me a hand that rocks the cradle, but I got to tell you, the compassion that leads to you getting the baby, I feel it. I'm with it. You turned me into a believer. I'm converted. I'm about to stop eating meat. I am lying about that. Let me tell y'all something real quick. About, you know what? 2020 is when I started back eating meat, actually. Because I was like, shoot, we got a whole pandemic out here. I got less of a chance dying on a pork chop than the pandemic. So why don't I just go back over here and start eating this meat? Bam. But before then, I was pescatarian. And before that, I was vegan. So I've done it. And I was pescatarian for like 3 years. I was vegan for a year and a half. Year and a half, then I went to shrimp and fish only. And then went on back to meat. And I had a cousin when I went to the family functions. This girl, she was like, because I'm vegan too. And I look at her plate and I'm like, girl, you got meatballs on your plate. And she was like, oh, I only ate meat one time today. That means I'm vegan. And she was dead serious. She thought that being a vegan meant that you only eat meat sometimes during the day. Like you don't have it 3 times a day, you have it 1 time a day. And this is how I know public schools really, they need a lot of work. They need a lot of work. That's for sure. I wanted to talk about Duda's apartment because it had a lot of glass. People with glass apartments, can y'all come in the comments? I gotta ask y'all a question. Do y'all ever feel wild about walking out naked because it's all glass? Or do you just feel like it is what it is? Because I wanted to know that because I'm like a teaspoon nudist. And I know that it's like, what is that stuff called? That you put on their privacy tent on the window so you basically can't really see through. But I'm just trying to ask y'all, when y'all moved in there, did y'all feel a way about all the windows and you not getting curtains and stuff? Or was you just like, naked is what naked does? Answer me in the comments. I'll look for it. Papa's little podcast, Papa Pulpit. I thought that was a cute name. Cute and quirky. Papa always got the knowledge. He like, Kev, you selfish. You won't stand up for your girlfriend. You won't stand up for your family. You won't stand up for yourself. Because there are a lot of Kevins in the world. I'm trying to tell y'all, it's way more of them than anybody else. Somewhere along the way, people are convinced that keeping their head down will ensure them a safe life. I'm here to tell you that's wrong. Trouble ain't not gonna bother you because your head is down. Excuse you. Imagine living a life where you thought if you ain't get involved in nothing, that people will keep you out of everything. I know that's a lie. Tracy, you said something to Trig that was a short but sturdy word. It was a word, girl. And I'm going to read you line for line. You said, how you going to protect the block if your house ain't in order? When Imani came up there and she was acting all wild, like she came into the door with the wrong energy. And I understand she got some trauma that is driving the way in which she is moving. It's navigating her actions to the point that she's not thinking straight. And if you don't hurry up and do something, you know, it's almost like she's trying to save herself. Like she sees herself in these women and things. She's trying to save them. Not saying that she don't, you know, not coming from a place of compassion, but it seemed like there's more involved in that. Like she's trying to right some wrong that was in her life. And it's causing her to just snap out without even thinking about the repercussions of her actions. And then her and Trig not really communicating because she's on that. If you're not doing what I want, then I don't want to hear it, which is a huge thing that happens in relationships where we stop hearing each other when your partner does not do exactly what you expect them to do instead of finding common ground. You know what I mean? And bridging that this or that mentality. Like y'all obviously have the same. The crazy thing is they got the same goal, Imani and Trig, as far as looking out for the neighborhood. They're just going about it in two different ways. And if they could sit down and have a conversation without it being, if you're not doing this, then I'm not listening. If they could have that conversation, they would be way more effective in reaching both of their goals, which would work in tandem together. Because by them getting these women out of the house and him helping the neighborhood, it's the same net effect. You cleaning up the streets, you making a safer neighborhood. But you see that in relationships all the time. And y'all know I don't give relationship advice. That's not my bag. That's not my soapbox. Do what works for you, boo-boo. But just in watching the show, I can see that dynamic playing out where it's not about the end result. It's more about the feelings involved. And they don't even know how to say, I think in her mind, she's saying, by not prioritizing what I need you to do, it's almost like what I'm asking you is not important. And maybe you don't see me. And he's like, no, it's not that. It's just that there's ways to go about it. We got to come together and come to terms. And I can't force people like you asking me to do them. It's a lot. We can have therapy about that if y'all want. Got to get to that ginger ale because this show. All right. Next topic. Jake is Mr. Stole Your Girl and don't know what to do with her. Jimmy and Jake with that little raggedy walkout. But that's what it takes. It takes a few brave souls to spark an entire movement. That's how anything gets started. You know, things don't get started with all the support and resources that you need. You start skeleton, bare bones. This is what it is. They tried to start that little rally. The little Caucasian girl was like, go, I'll be the white shield. That was hilarious. But just watching them trying is admirable. We are seeing that this was the beginning of the cheating because they're dang, Jake didn't even it's like Jake don't even respect his homie no more. Kevin, he see that Kevin ain't bout it, and he like, I think he's looking at Kevin like an Uncle Tom. And Duda, when he came in to the school after Jake and Gemma had gotten in trouble for doing that show, and Duda was like, you know, on their side, like, yeah, they have their own voice now. I was like, you know what? You still ringing all my bells as the bad guy. You really are. I like Duda, y'all. Otis Perry. I sure do. Because he is trying to give people their freedom by taking them out of the confines of societal expectation and norm. He's shocking the whole city. He's challenging everything. That's how movements start. One person. Could be one person, one idea. You link up with some common, like-minded folks. That's how an entire movement gets birthed. It's not you got all the support, you got everything you need. It's, you know what? This is not how this is supposed to be. And I'm going to use my voice to say that. And you continue to say it because you got that fire in your gut. When you call, you get the fire in your gut. And you can't shut up about it. You keep talking about it, and your voice echoes and brings in the people that you need. And then those people get together, and that's how that's how it happens. So I admire their efforts. They got a lot to learn. But even if we look at any movement, powerful movement in history, it was led by young people, not old people. A lot of our civil rights leaders died young. You know what I mean? And they were out here doing these things young because they ain't got nothing to lose at that point. And they're, less conformed to things. They can come into a system like, y'all dealing with this stupid. That's how I feel about a 9 to 5. That's how I feel about a 40-day work week. Maybe I should start talking about that. Because as people, why are we working 5 days a week for 2 days off? It don't make sense. It's not healthy. Obviously, with the pandemic, we found out it's not really sustainable or necessary. We can get our work done in less time, but we stick here because we have to. This is my soapbox. Let me get off of it because we're talking about the shy. Jada. Let me just run through my mind because this, you know how I feel about Jada. Let me just run through my mind, make sure I'm not missing anything else. All right, we're here. We've arrived. Jada is in treatment for cancer. She finally told Emmit. Emmit walks in the door. And she better not be doing this, and y'all better not be doing it. He loved barking orders at people and thinking that, he's more important in people's lives. Like he's the dictator. When she tells him, she's throwing up. Oh, you pregnant. Like, you ever thought about shutting up and just listening for once? Even when Keisha and Tiffany was talking, what y'all talking about? Again, I wish the food truck man never was doing wrong on the show in real life to have gotten his character eliminated because Emmit and Kevin needed him. The character of Brandon was pivotal in this show, especially in some characters' development. And without that, these young men are floundering. They don't have any type of role model, mentor, guide. They've been out here guideless, which is why they're making all these foolish mistakes and things that they're doing. Look at the women folk. They're not in the same boat because they have other women to talk to. Jada has been that mentor and guide for Keisha and Tiffany. You got Nina, who is Keisha's mom, Keisha and Kevin's mom. She's there. The women are always 10 toes down. The men are absent in this show. We got Trig trying to do what he can do in the community. And we got Otis. But we don't got nobody in their day-to-day lives that's really trying to guide them. Trig is doing what he can do with Jake. But listen, Darnell is a mess. Darnell is comic relief on this show. But like we said before, this show, you can see parts of realism and things like that within the show. I'm gonna wrap this up because I really don't want to talk about Jada having cancer and her throwing up her guts in that toilet, because that was a hard scene for me. Because she's my favorite character on the show. I like her a lot. And she had to admit to her son that she's sick. And when she actually said it, that was the first time, I think, that she said it. I have cancer. She said, Emmit, I have cancer. You know, I like that her little massage man is there taking care of her, because she deserves to have compassion, especially at this time of need. And you just know what she's up against. She's up against a lot. And even in the midst of that, what's she thinking about? Oh, Emmit won't be able to make it. He won't survive. And it did not delight me to see him wrecked by that information. To see him, really destroyed by the information that his mother has a terminal illness. Watching him break down and cry was sad. We got the streets tearing apart these families. We got healthcare tearing apart these families. It's a bit much. And I said, I like my drama on the screen. These are real life events. All right. That's it. I don't want to talk about this no more. This was a hard episode. Y'all let me know how y'all got through this episode. Was it a difficult one for you like it was for me? Still really good. Packed with information and things. But overall, it was a hard episode. I'm glad Keisha's giving that baby to Octavia Taft, Luther King. I'm glad that she's doing that. I love that little speech she gave about Keisha being in the building. Can weather all the storms and never be destroyed. That's how you got me. All right? That's how you got me. That right there. That little monologue about the buildings. I said, okay. Put my resistance down. All right, y'all. Y'all have a fantastic week. Meet me in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this recap and what you thought about the episode, because I like to know what you think about it. You obviously see my thoughts, but what do you think about the episodes? Also, this the last week for these braids. Y'all not going to see these on here next week unless I'm lazy. If I'm lazy, then they'll be back. But I'm trying to get these out before next Sunday. All right, y'all. Take care.